Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the state of KT roster and how we're always going to be that same old KT team that doesn't want to spend money and doesn't want to retain their good players, because I have been a KT fan for 12 or 13 years now, right? And last the last Worlds right now is the closest we've been to a World Championship. And we went 5 games with T1, we lost. It was tough, right? But I feel like this roster still had a chance. And we're talking Duck, Peter, Cuz, Perfect, BD, right? And if you're the KT front office, you should look at this roster and say, okay, we were this close. We almost beat T1 in a best of five. We lost in the last game, but that's okay. We were this close to winning. We need to keep our good young players. Instead, they let Peter walk away. Let's discuss that, because why is Peter walking away? I'm hearing rumors that BDD is going to be leaving to go to HLE if they buy him out. I'm hearing rumors that Score is also going to be bought out by HLE, like bought. Like I hear even Kaz may leave. We may see him on Genji or HLE. That's what I'm hearing, man. So what is it just Perfect just left on his own? Just poor Perfect in the top lane left on his own. Has to play with new players again. It's like, or are we keeping BDD? If that's the only good news I would have as a KT fan, is if they say, okay, we're at least keeping BDD cause perfect, and we're gonna try and improve the bot lane, right? But I don't know about letting Peter walk away. You trained him like he was in your KT Challenger team. You trained him up. You came to the main roster. He's playing well all year, right? Maybe a top three, top four support in the world, and we just let this guy walk away. And you guys didn't even try to retain him and be like, hey man, Peter, like come on, we always won. Like let's try again. Come on, Peter. Now, people may say, oh, it's too expensive, because their contracts have gone up because, they almost won worlds and now teams are going to be wanting them. And I get that. I understand that part of it, right? But if I'm KT, man, and this is what I'm saying, this is why we'll never be a contender. We will never be like we can make world finals. We've shown with the talent of BDD and Cuz and Perfect and Ducktime and Peter that we can make world championships with not even a super team. This is like a reject team, right? With BDD, the exception, with like a superstar mid laner. That's the only exception we have. And at the same time, they still made worlds. They still were competitive against these top teams like T1, Gen G, HLE, right? They still gave those guys a good fight. And I feel like this team had, if they just gave it one more year, like even Gen G, like their roster, they gave it like 2 years, right? And now, like obviously, May I think Canyon's gonna leave. He might be going to HLE. That's what I'm hearing as well. So I don't know if Gen G's gonna snag Cuz, right? Could happen because who they're gonna get as their jungler, we don't know. I hope it's not Cuz. I just hope BDD and Cuz stay together because at least they have synergy and they've been together for a while and they know how to play with each other. Like I don't want BDD to be playing with new teammates. That's what I just hope they retain at least Cuz and Perfect, because Duckdown and Peter are gone. And it's just sad now, man. That's the state of KT, and it's the state. I mean, I've heard that there's problems with this org, and now they're having financial issues, and it's sad. And had we had the financial like the side of things, and we could retain Peter at least, I feel like if they retain Peter, BDD, Cuz, and Perfect, I feel like we'd be okay. Like Duckdown maybe wants to walk away for money, fine. Let him. We can upgrade that. That's what I'm saying. But you need to when you upgrade with Duckdown, you need to find somebody that's on the level of that of Guma, Viper, Ruler, Diablo, Smash, Pays. You gotta get somebody on that level. I just don't want to hear, like, if I hear that we have another like just another crappy AD carry. I don't want aiming, especially aiming. I do not want to see aiming and barrel on this team. I'm telling you right now, as a KT fan for 12 or 13 years, We cannot deal with another aiming barrel team. It'll make us into a like you'll turn this team from a contender into a joke team. That's what's going to be another meme team that gets destroyed to DNF and DRX, and then we beat Gen G the next week and T1 the next week. We cannot be one of those teams, man. This team to date has been the best roster we've had, and they were reject team. So what I'm saying is, if they truly want to be contenders, I'm talking about KT roster, you need to upgrade at the AD carry position and your support position. Okay. I don't know who you're gonna get other than Peter, because it's like Peter's left, but it's like who are you gonna get? Because who's on Peter's level and who's on, like, you need some, like, on Peter's level. I would say there's a few guys. I would say Duro. I would say, and obviously Duro's staying with Gen G, but maybe Lehens, but he's staying on Nongshim. I think his contract is still for Nongshim, so I don't know if you can get Lehens. I don't think you can get Lehens, right? It's like, who are you going to get to replace them? Even Duckdom. So who are you going to get now? Because Smash is going. What I've heard, Smash is going to DK, which is a good move for DK. They need that a type of AD carry. They need a carry type guy that's going to say, okay, I'm going to take the game into my own hands. DK needed that. They have that in Smash now. Pace is going to T1. So you could say, Pace is a choker and all this stuff, but I mean, T1, you haven't really downgraded because you have Pace. He's a carry style player, just like Smash and just like Guma and all these other guys. HLE have upgraded. They have Guma, right? Well, I don't really say it's an upgrade, but it's because Viper's insane. I would love to have Viper on our team too, or Guma on our team. But you need somebody on that level, and I'm saying who's available, because Guma's going to HLE. Viper's, from what I've heard, he's going to the LPL, right? So what do we do? What do we do, guys? As a KT fan, I'm just disappointed. What do we do? Because I'm just trying to think of what AD carry is available, right? That again, we don't we if you're gonna spend money, I'm talking about KT, you're gonna spend resources. We need that AD carry, man. We were an AD carry away, I would say, from winning, because Duckdom played pretty badly in that game 5 against T1. Look, Duckdom played well all year. I'll never shit on Duckdom because he played well all year. He got us to Worlds. He was a big reason of that. Now, people can disagree and say, oh, it was mainly BDD and Cuz. I agree, but Duckdom showed up as well to get us to Worlds. He pushed us with that. If you look at that Ezreal game that he had and the Ziggs game and those even other games that they lost, that Duckdom looked really good against Gen G to get us to Worlds. I'm talking about that series. And all I gotta say is this, guys, is who do we get at AD carry position? And can KT be a contender when they're historically known for just being cheap? I think there's 2 times they've spent on a super team. That's it. Throughout the history of like 12, 13 years, or I don't know, KT's been around for even longer than that, but they started off with StarCraft and then they moved on to League of Legends, right? But I've been there at the beginning, man. I've been there when the KT Bullets was there. I was there when Score was an AD carry. I was there when Insect was the jungler. I was there when they had that team where Ryu was the mid laner. And they've historically only spent 2 times in their entire LCK, like that super team they had with Deft. I think Deft, Mada, and Smeb. That was the super team they spent on, and I think also that super team they had in 2023 with Keen, Lehens aiming. That's the other one they spent on. And that's it. This roster wasn't even a super team. It was a reject team. And we still almost won the finals, right? And we were competitive all year against the top 3, right? And all I gotta say is, man, I just pray that we keep BDD because I hope the rumors aren't true that BDD is leaving KT for HLE. I'm gonna be so sad just because I'm gonna be happy for BDD if he does leave because he deserves to win and have a good team around him. You know, you can't deal with another aiming barrel bot lane, man. I'm telling you this as a BDD fan and a KT fan. If BDD has to choose between aiming and barrel and, you know, KT over HLE, go to HLE if I'm BDD, man. Because you cannot spend another year on this team with aiming and barrel as your bot lane. Man, I don't get it. I didn't get what the front office is doing. It's not the coaching staff, by the way. Score is an amazing coach. Sonstar, Musong, these guys are amazing. These guys are amazing coaches. And yet, the front office does not want to do what they're supposed to do and just spend money and get somebody on that level. You could have, like, if they would have given Viper enough money and pitched to him, hey, Viper, man, we were an 80 carry away from winning Worlds. And we'll give you a ton of money if you come. And we keep Peter too, by the way. I think we would be good for next year, man. If they this roster stayed together and just if Duckdom left, that's fine. But if we replace them with Viper, Guma, you know, anyone on that level, Diablo, I think we would be in a better spot. But I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know who they're gonna go get. And it's gonna be another reject 80 carry. And it's like again, guys, do we have to do this again where it's like you guys don't learn your lesson where it's proven that you need a really a carry. You need a carry at the 80 carry position. You can't have a guy who's just safe and he shows up sometimes. That's what Duck Dumb is. That's what aiming is. And I think this year has just shown that, you know, we can make it. And if they truly want to go and win a world championship finally, and I've been waiting, man. It's been 12, 13 years, guys. I've been waiting for a championship. And it's just like actually make the moves when you can, man. The top orgs they make moves. T1 has already made moves. HLE's making moves. Gen G is making moves. DK is making moves. We need to be able to compete with these guys. You need to go get an 80 carry that can compete with these guys, man. Oh, I'm sick of the same KT like front office moves. They do the same thing every year. Just rebuild, get a good roster, rebuild, get a good roster, rebuild. You know, BDD has had to swap teammates every fucking year, and that's just the KT way. You just the roster just disbands, and there's a new roster every year. Whereas at least on T1, Gen G, and HLE, there have been a core, you know, core 3 or 4 players for a while, right? For T1, you always have Faker, Guma, Carrier, Owner, right? Jose's left, but he was there too for a while. And then now Guma's left, but you still have the core of Faker, Owner, and Carrier, right? You still have the core there. The T1's still going to be fine. They're still going to be world title contenders. Then you look at Gen G, they still have their, I think they have their core intact, which is Chovy, Keen, Right Ruler. But now, I mean, Canyon's left, so I don't know. I mean, Canyon was supposed to be a guy that was sticking with the team, but I guess he left. He got angry with the organization and he's left now. Or maybe HLE offered him more money, right? I don't know if he's going to HLE, but most likely he's going to HLE. He's left Gen G, right? And like I said, man, yeah, look, that's the state of KT. Whether look until we decide we want to be contenders and actually get a good 80 carry, we're not going to go anywhere. That's the reality of this team. Thank you guys for watching this video. I appreciate it. This is going to be a KT channel and an LCK channel. So any KT fans and LCK fans, you're welcome to come here and discuss and, you know, have a conversation about what's going on. But this will mainly be a KT channel because I'm a KT fan. That's why. And I'm a loyal KT fan. Even if BDD leaves, you know, and the roster gets all swapped and weird stuff happen, I'm still going to be a KT fan. I'm very loyal. Been with this team for 12, 13 years, and I'm not going to just switch sides just because some players leave, you know. So thank you guys for watching. Take care of yourselves, and KT fighting.